just don't know. I don't know. I'm looking, yeah.
Marc Clarke, that's classic. I love it.
Oh, just because somebody don't retaliate don't mean they'll whatever you said.
They're pussy thing.
No, they don't.
Yes, it is.
They just don't want no. So if a man run up and hit a man and the other man don't hit him back, that means he's.
Hell yeah.
Why
to fight back?
Okay, how come he just
Fuck
say
that thing about Martin Luther King?
No.
Beat they motherfucking ass.
No.
That
what
shows
about
that you not only aggressive, but you protecting your rights.
No, but what if they just being a bigger man and just walk?
Bigger man, my ass. I don't go for the bigger man shit. You got the wrong motherfucker. I said it. Now take me off of tic-tac or be back or whatever the fuck it is. Or Rick Rack. I don't even know what y'all talking about.
Can you hear me, Bootsy Vegas?
I can finally hear you now, Mr. Clarke.
Awesome. Okay, well, good. Okay, thank you, Faye. Faye said no volume. So welcome. Lynn said feeling a little feisty this morning. You know that grandma clip embarrasses Bootsy, but also cracks me up every time.
Absolutely.
So we have a guest. We should have a guest coming on. I think he's having a little, might have a little problem hopping on. But Bootsy Vegas, I saw this, and you know, for those who don't know, many years Bootsy Vegas was with Earth, Wind, and Fire. Basically, he's the baby brother, Earth, Wind, and Fire baby brother, little brother.
A child, because they do have kids older than me.
And you were there in the midst. So I saw this segment on YouTube, and I said, this will definitely be. I see some Kevin, Faye, Lynn are music nerds, so I think they'll like it. But some might like it's kind of a music nerd show.
I love it. It sounds like us.
Yeah, and so our guest who has a different, it's not R&B, it's different. We'll talk to him. But also, I saw this, Bootsy, and thought of you.
First word that comes to your mind when you think of September.
21st. September.
You said September.
That's what I'm thinking of. I think it's September.
Do you remember?
Do you have any idea how much crap is in this track?
They freaking tuned the congas.
That's two.
All that and more today on Professional Musicians React.
Musicians React.
Welcome to Professional Musicians React. We got an awesome day today. We are listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire, September. Woo! We got Charles Jones. Charles has played with Raphael Sadiq. Wolfpack did a tune with Wolfpack a couple of years ago. We got Ryan Lerman here. Ryan has played with John Legend and folks like Ben Folds, played bass for Ben Folds for many years. We got Tim Sonnefeld, who's engineering today, and you're hearing his voiceover talk back here. My name is Jack Conti. I am the CEO of Patreon, and we're going to dive into Earth, Wind, and Fire, September. Before we dive in, what are you listening to right now?
Willy Wonka soundtrack, like pure imagination.
One of the greatest songs of all time.
One of the greatest song orchestrations.
Oh my God.
All time.
We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world.
Do you know Lewis Taylor?
Mm-mm.
It blew my mind. His self-titled record was recorded in the 90s, I think. And he's playing everything, and it's insane.
So come on, won't you let me, baby?
My most listened to record is
Skrillex.
Impressions for Headphones by Brian Green. This record puts me in a zone. It's like, it makes me feel like I'm driving through the rain, and it's just...
We're getting to it, Bootsy. Music nerds.
Yeah.
That's how we do.
Yeah, because I have the truth about September that nobody knows.
Okay, here it comes.
It's beautiful. It's a feeling the whole way through. It's lo-fi. It's gorgeous.
I love that record.
It's a great record. All right, let's dive in. We got Earth, Wind, and Fire, September. This song was originally released as a single. It wasn't on a record. Did you know that?
No.
It's on the best of Earth, Wind, and Fire, Volume 1.
That's what it came out as?
Sorry, do a compilation?
Yeah, it's on. That's the record that it's on, like officially, because it was a single. This song was released in 1978 in November.
Oh my God.
Produced by Maurice White, the band leader. Maurice also played with Ed James, Chuck Berry, Buddy Guy. Here we go. Oh, I love that piano.
I do too.
Notes.
Clap on snare.
I think it might be 2 notes.
All down. Do.
Everything else is so upbeat.
God.
Oh, makes me want to go to a bar mitzvah.
Wait, in all seriousness, one thing I love about the song is it is a party start to finish.
Oh my God.
Can you play? Yes. Yeah, do you hear that?
Yeah, I hear it.
It's totally a wind-up. It's like, ladies and gentlemen. It's so great.
He said, listen, you're going to hear this damn part.
I love it. Charles, when we sat down right before we started listening to this, right before we turned on the cameras, you were playing the tune on keys.
Yeah.
Can you just play what you played?
So I was playing, do you remember? Yeah.
You don't hear that anywhere.
Nope. You do not.
That
you do
is
not.
constructed
Yeah.
with a lot of different melodic lines happening at the same time, almost like, you know, a great Bach piece is lots of melodies at once. The bass player, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And then the guitar doing
And then so on the left hand, you have that guitar, dun, 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 and then the guitar on the right is going, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
the James Brown thing.
Yeah.
And then when you combine all those individual lines, you get harmony.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody's playing the chords. It's these wonderfully composed intersecting counterpoint lines.
Yeah, that's what makes a genius of them.
Yes. Counterpoint lines are two melodic lines.
So Bootsy Vegas, you were inside the machine. You
Man.
were right hand.
First of all, let me just show everybody the picture. So Maurice White has only mentored 2 to 3 people, and I happen to be one of them. Everybody see my picture here? This is me and Maurice White here, having a dinner, having a conversation about go-go music and where music was going. So go ahead.
So at the end of the day, you know, their whole podcast, you know, musicians talking about breaking down, deconstructing, and they were saying that it basically, you know, all these different elements working together, creating the melody, which it sounds like Earth, Wind and Fire formula. So Bootsy Vegas, the man who's
let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you the truth about this song, right? So first of all, I had about a 2-hour conversation with Maurice White about September. So let me give you the first fact.
Yeah.
The first fact that it was put on Volume Hits Volume 1. It was never released as a single. The song was recorded 3 to 4 years before, and nobody and Philip Bailey, you know, he can't lie about it. Philip Bailey hated the song. Al McKay and Maurice did it together. So there's a few things about the story. Most of the band did not like it because they said it was too simplistic. Obviously, hindsight is 2020. So Maurice was the only one that knew it. So there's a writer named Allie Willis. She just passed away. She co-wrote the song with Maurice White. She didn't like the song either. So this is what the argument happened. She didn't like the fact that Maurice put "Body Ya, Say That You Remember, Body Ya." That's it, because she said it was not a real lyric. She was like, "I'm uncomfortable with the fact, Maurice, that it's not a lyric." Maurice's response to her was, "Let me give you some advice, young lady. Never let your ego get in the way of a good melody line." That's exactly what he told her. So for years, she tells a story about her writing it, but Maurice basically kind of came in, tell it. So number one, nobody liked the song. It held on for 4 years, and they needed a song to put it in to fill the number requirement for Earth, Wind and Fire Greatest Hits Volume 1. So September was never actually put out as a song that they thought. The only person that liked the song September was Maurice White and Al McKay, the guitar player who played it. And that is the number 1 most requested song. That is the song that has been sampled the most out of all the songs. And it was one of the songs that they won a Grammy for that they just could not believe they won a Grammy for. So the song September is a complete accident. The whole Earth, Wind and Fire September song. Oh, last thing about the song. It was written in Washington, D.C. So it was written at the Vista Hotel. And for everybody that's in D.C., that's where Marion Barry actually got locked up at when he got locked up. So what happened was, yes, it was. So Maurice told me he was writing the lyrics and he was missing a certain woman who I will not name because that's a whole nother story. He said that he was at the Vista Hotel and the alarm goes off. So everybody has to leave the hotel. And he said he noticed it was smoke coming up. So what he was saying, never was a cloudy day, was when he was with this particular person, it was never a cloudy day. So he said the lyrics of Never Was a Cloudy Day came because he was sitting outside the Vista Hotel looking at smoke coming up, thinking last year at this time, I was with this particular lady. So he just started writing his thoughts down, and nobody liked the song but him. There were 4 songs that only Maurice White knew was hit. September and Serpentine Fire, nobody in the band. And if anybody tell you this, Mark, they are fibbing to you. He was the only one. Philip, to this day, whenever they discuss September, Verdi and Ralph will say, Philip, won't you tell him about the song? And then Philip says, man, I can't lie, I didn't like it. So the whole thing was a complete accident. It was the genius of this amazing man, my mentor, Maurice White, who added Body Say That You Remember, and added all the stuff to it. So yeah, but and it's interesting to see people break it down about these songs that somehow I was in the room to be able to learn what it is. But it's very interesting. But it was a simplistic song that Al McKay just had the riff on the guitar of, and Maurice just piled on. But be clear, nobody believed in the song, including the record, including Clyde, and he is the man. Clyde didn't like it. The management didn't like it. The only person that knew that song was it, and this is a fact, Mark. This ain't no hearsay. This is a fact. Was Maurice White and Al McKay. And that's a fact.
It's crazy because it seems so logical. We say now simplistic, but like you say, as we know, that is what makes hits usually, is that a song,
but
a
the issue
you can remember. And the funny part about Bootsy with the songs, when you talk about Earth, Wind, and Fire, September and Serpentine Fire, I know when you talk about jazz bands and marching bands, those are two of the, when you play Earth, Wind, and Fire, those are two of the biggest ones.
Okay, 2 stories about that. Okay, so first story. The issue why people in the band didn't like it, because they were tired of doing disco songs. And it reminded them of 4 on the Floor disco. Because at that point, everybody was doing a disco record and they didn't like it. The second thing about marching bands, the first time I ever went to his house, and literally I thought I was dead. So there have been times in my life where I'm like, I can't believe I'm in the room. He had a plaque on his wall for the sheet music going platinum. Yep. The plaques that were on the wall were September, 1 million sold of the sheet music for that. Serpentine Fire, 1 million sold of that. He had a plaque for the sheet music of those 2 songs. And he is the only one that believed in the song or knew it was a hit. May that man rest in peace.
And I think the funny part about it, I think if I'm accurate, because our jazz band instructor was cool as hell, and in the Midwest, the bands and stuff really. I think Sammy Nestico had an arrangement. It was the same. It was the same. It was it was the song, but I think his arrangement was close to the arrangement. Was like so jazz cats, like my band instructor, they liked it, and it was cool because it had a great horn. It had it's powerful horns. You could display those, and then the percussions on Serpentine Fire. It's just like, even to this day, obviously HBCUs are still banging those songs out. And so
and the crazy thing about Serpentine Fire is the drum pattern of that track has never been duplicated on no song. I've never heard. So crazy thing about Serpentine Fire was he went to Brazil, and he had took a tape recorder to Brazil and just wanted to record Brazilian percussions. He invited the band to go with him, and nobody wanted to go because obviously, and this could be a whole nother story. At this particular time, everybody in Earth, Wind, and Fire was rich and famous, and when you're the #1 band in the world, you are enjoying the fruits of whatever comes with that. As one person told me in the band, no women told him no for 10 years, so why would he stop denying them? So, and somebody told me that in the band, like literally. So Maurice was the only one that was staying focused on what the mission was. He never got off of the fact that he wanted to create music. So when he came back to bring, and this is in the Earth, Wind, and Fire documentary, he played the drum track for them, and everybody was like, what are you doing? What is this? Philip Bailey literally said, I don't know what this is. Nobody knew what it was. And he walked in and said, well, it don't matter. Yeah, we're doing it. So, and literally that's how it happened.
So now, now that, again, I don't think my guest is going to join us for whatever reason, maybe a little miscommunication.
I got a guest I want to introduce. I have a guest I want to introduce.
I saw somebody walking around. Yeah, who's that?
Okay, so yeah, so everybody who do know my story before I introduce this amazing lady. Now I don't know if she can hear me because I had these headphones in. So everybody know that I had stage 4 lymphoma. I had stage 4 lymphoma cancer twice in 2 years. In Bootsy Vegas or Sally fashion, I'm one of the only people that probably ever became very cool and close with the doctors that saved me. So there's a young lady in here named Charmaine. Yesterday was her birthday. I hit her up. Her son goes to school. So basically, when I got diagnosed with cancer again for the second time, it was devastating. God decided for some reason to put this amazing young lady in my life at the particular time. So the 13 months of the second time, I had one nurse and one doctor. I call her my guardian angel. We become best friends. Charmaine, can you come over here, please? Come here, Charmaine.
Charmaine.
Hello.
Come on, yeah, yeah. So
Hello.
she came to visit me today, and I just wanted to celebrate her on her birthday. I did a post about her today, and she started crying. So I'm like, yeah, no crying, just come on over. Everybody, this is my amazing cancer doctor, Charmaine, who I have become super close with. Literally, we have become like brothers and sisters, and only me can have somebody that can save their life, and then we become best friends. So this is for everybody who works at the Lombardi Cancer Center or the Washington Hospital Cancer Center. You do know who this young lady is. Don't let the fact that she's a young Black woman confuse you. Also, Mark, this is my cancer health guru. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As I sit here right now doing my stuff right here, as everybody's saying about, we're here doing juicing. So this is Charmaine. I don't know if Charmaine can hear me, but I tell Charmaine this, and this is no lie because she's going to start crying. Charmaine literally put life back into me when I was in the cancer center. This was our first interaction, Mark. So I get in the joint, and I'm like, man, I'm about to, I couldn't believe I was back here doing it. Charmaine says, you know what? I know who you are. You know, you kind of like a go-go band. She's like, I know who you is. She said, if you come in here whining and crying, I'm going to hit you straight to your body right now. So man up, get in this. And I bust out laughing like, oh my God. She's like, it don't matter. We about to beat this cancer. Don't come in here whining and crying. You about to get these jokes. So this is our first introduction. Guess what I told her that day? I said, I don't know you. I don't know who you are. Man, I love you. That's exactly what I told. And we have been, this is my third year defeating stage 4 cancer and surviving a full body stem cell, and we become best of friends.
Wow.
Say hello, Charmaine.
Hello, and just to let everyone know.
Hold on. Put these headphones in.
Oh. Hi, I am a young 40. Okay, so black don't crack unless you smoke it or snort it.
She's funny too.
Charmaine, first of all, we share the same birthday, so I think we're linked forever. You June 8th?
Yes, absolutely.
And so you're my baby sister. We're linked forever. My birthday too. Charmaine, you deal with the C word, and I know when we hear that, we all shudder. And you guided Bootsy through the journey. Give us the top 3 things that if you are first thing, what's the key to getting through? What's the key to getting through if you're diagnosed with cancer?
I think the first thing is to heal yourself mentally, because more than anything, people don't realize how much humor and just the creativity of your mind can just take your healing to another level. More than anything, like, I don't normally tell people I'm going to punch them, but he needed that. And I kind of meet people where they are. Everybody has a different level of need. And for most people, and no offense, but guys need a lot more, coddling sometimes than women do. But more than especially him. But more than anything, I think it's family support. I think it's, definitely feeling like I can beat this, because if you don't believe it in your heart and your mind, nothing that medicine or anything else will do will heal you. And definitely having some type of spirituality. It doesn't matter what it is, but the family support, the humor, and the spirituality, those are the top 3 things.
Well, thank you for saving our boy, and thank you for being an angel. And we're so glad to have you part of our life. And also, thank you, sweet sisters. Now you can't shake me now, girl. I'm part of your life.
Hey! You don't want to shake me anyway.
Oh, that's right. I ain't trying to shake a little young 40 self. I ain't trying to shake natural hair young 40. And
Yes,
so
yes.
we appreciate you. And Bootsy, look at y'all. Bootsy, you need to go. You need to. This need to be your woman. That's what needs to happen. But that's a whole other story.
Don't get me in trouble.
Oh, my bad. All right. Well, anyway, I'm just saying. Y'all looking good. But Bootsy, so I know you got Charmaine a good gift, the woman that saved your damn life. I know you got a nice fat gift. Hello, is this thing on?
A mic check 1 2 1 2.
Okay. Can you hear me, Mark?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, can you tell Mark? I've never asked this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, am I in the top 10 of the best cancer patients you've ever seen come through there, or it was people actually better than me?
You are absolute number one.
Hold on, I'm dead serious.
Number one.
I'm dead serious. Like, what do I rate?
How do you get to be number one, Sean? How do you get to be Charmaine?
You know, it was kind of like a seesaw relationship with us, right? So when I was down, he kind of picked me up. So there were some days that he had to get me together. Like, wait a minute, you know, because it does get very hard working with cancer patients, because some months we might lose 5 patients at one time, and it just gets really heavy. So I have my bad days, and he kind of kicks me in the butt and like, hey, what you doing? What's going on? So.
Wow, well go ahead. Bootsy Vegas is redeeming himself every day. And so Bootsy, you said a little bit. She gave Bootsy, she said you number one, son. You need number one. I think
number one.
Bootsy, I think Charmaine can hang with us. I think our other guest is here. I think Ro is in the building. Ro, are you there? I think Ro might be there. Ro, are you there?
Charmaine, who the fuck is
Okay. See, Rogue, turn your camera on, first of all.
What just happened here? We were talking about life, cancer,
and
now
I know. You see, you got
what?
What the?
Oh, only on this show, though, bro. This might be a bigger than Paul Porter moment. The captain Paul Porter.
Right.
We decided to whip out on camera. You know what I mean?
He needs to turn his camera on, you know. But again, you know, we need to bring Charmaine back for a whole show, Bootsy, to talk about, because Charmaine, you go ahead, Bootsy. What are you saying?
Well, the other thing is, she should be a radio personality. She should be doing some type of radio. This girl is funny. Our connection was the fact that she was funny, informative, articulate. If she said she wanted to do radio, but I've been telling her we should probably do something, because Charmaine is literally me and you. We would just fit like a glove. She's funny all the time. She's super insightful, super intelligent, and she can give you perspectives that you may not see coming. But also from a medical standpoint, this amazing young lady is a guru. So yeah, but let me say this: if I told her this before, she could have easily did radio, no question, and she would have been good at it.
Their personality. Come on now.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
All day, Mark.
All day, and like you said, got great information. That's the main part, and saving lives.
Yeah.
Clear.
Yeah. No. Now the other thing that I would say about her is the fact that she did not only make me do it, she made everybody feel comfortable at that. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell everybody this one story. I had came to do chemo one day, and she was off, and it was the worst experience. I mean, literally, I called her and said, "Hey, I cannot do this if you are not here. Hey, homie, schedule your days." You know what I mean? Because the nurse was so rude and disrespectful. I'm like, I don't know who this lady is. I don't never want to see her again. Charmaine, please do not take off no more days. And literally, she kind of scheduled her days. But a lot of people, I've told her this a few times, that she does put life back into people, and that whether she knows it or not, she has a different purpose, because she's like this. She's on all the time. Like when and I know for a fact, for people who do not have a lot of people, she is the determining factor on you being uplifted spiritually and motivated to keep going. So, you know, and I keep telling her this, she probably don't believe me, but you know, I'm telling you, I don't think I would be here without her. I don't think I would be sitting on this Zoom or this conversation had she had not been my doctor, because mentally I was going through a lot of things, and I know for a fact that God put this amazing human being in my path for a reason, and it was to put life back into me.
And Charmaine, is there frustration when you work in? So one of my pet peeves about everything is, so we talk about cancer, right? From juvenile cancer to cancer for folks, right? But as we know that every day they promote and we eat cancer causing agents. We just had the case with the
Don't get her in no
powder.
trouble, Mark. Don't get her in no trouble, Mark.
The baby powder, coming to find out baby powder had the carcinogen in it. Fast
Don't get her in no trouble, Mark. Don't get her in no trouble.
So does it become frustrating sometimes, Charmaine, when you kind of know certain things about certain products that, every day we eat every day, we push every day, and even with kids, especially the babies, and there's really no conversation. We always talk about, well, we raise money to fight it, but at the same time, does that become frustrating? And I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I'm just saying, does it become frustrating sometimes, almost like you're fighting a couple different battles?
Yes, and I'll speak in general terms so I don't get myself in trouble.
Exactly.
But basically what it is the poorest of the poor can't afford the good food. So they are more likely than anyone to, have a diagnosis of cancer for many different things, from work environment to, the food. So at that point, it's just trying to get over those barriers and educate people as much as they can. Now, again, where I work, we do have a lot of services for our patients. And then sometimes, I'm going to be honest, I may have to just go to CVS and get some things, because more than anything, it's about the patient healing. So do I care that I'm spending $15 to go get somebody something that they need, some Depends or something like that? No, because that's going to create a person who is comfortable coming to me, talking to me about what their issues are, and they're not going to have any barriers to treatment. So we can go ahead and do what we need to do to get them healthy without them, having lost a job or getting evicted or, just not being able to afford the little things.
It's so weird that what you're talking about is the same thing that teachers do. And it's just so frustrating that, what I'm saying, the most valuable things that we need in society, we got them going and buying extra pencils, extra pens, Depends, vitamins. Yeah. It's just like, and it's weird that we don't, as a society, it almost feels like people, I get it. You get so busy with your life that you feel like you can't help others. But it's just interesting how, as a society, how we don't harness our power from demanding better health opportunities, demanding better education things, demanding this, demanding that. And people be like, well, there's nothing I can do. Well, it starts with us, like you say, electing, demanding it from the people that you elect. So it's an interesting disconnect. And I think also what's interesting in the medical field, Charmaine, because I see it with myself, if I'm honest, a lot of times doctors treat patients. And so if you tell a patient, look, don't eat sugar, or if you do, don't eat much sugar. What the doctor knows is that 89%, if not 90%, with that simple directive will not do it. So in their mind, they're like, well, it's better that I just give them this medicine, because they ain't gonna listen to me, right? And that's another part that people don't, if we're honest, we don't, especially Americans, we hard-headed. We don't follow, just like I think with COVID, I think a big player with COVID was, and it could have been anything, is that Americans who have high blood pressure, who are pre-diabetic, who are pre-hypertensive, who are, whatever, have pre-existing conditions, move like they don't. And so they don't, and you're, being who you are and knowing what you know what that means when somebody has blood pressure that's not regulated and has, who's basically pre-diabetic, diabetic. But the average person be like my mom used to do, I can have a piece of pie, I could drink 32 ounces of soda. No, you can't. But they don't realize you really are compromising your body. And I think so when something flared up, this COVID or whatever else comes up, they don't realize how vulnerable you are. And that one little thing could push you right over the edge and take you on out of here. But even when we have guests on and you have news segments, they don't ever really break it down. They don't really just break it down and say, look, you are obese, you're hypertensive, and you're pre-diabetic. If you don't need to go to McDonald's, there's very few things that you can get on certain menus, and you don't ever need to open up a Coke. But they never break it down like that, right? They never break it down.
You can't say that though.
But
So
you know what I'm
this is
saying?
my thing. Yes, they
But
don't break
it's
it
like,
down because that's not realistic.
Right. Well, but see, like you say, but realistic, like you say, that's back to realistic. What's realistic? Is realistic, like you say, living a life. It's almost like, do I have to have a Coca-Cola? Do I have to have a Pepsi to live? No, you don't. Do I have to have one to die? Yes, you do. So, but we don't break it down like that. And like you said, the realistic part is most people don't, most people don't even given, you deal with it every day. Even the patients you deal with who are in stage 4, you'll be like, okay, you should do this. They'll be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, people really do not understand everything that they're doing. I have a lady who's, still smokes cigarettes, and we're treating you for cancer. Like, and I really explained it, like, how much more risk you're putting yourself at for other types of cancer. And she was like, I didn't even think about it like that. And I was like, what do you mean? So a lot of times, like, that's why I say you have to meet people where they are. I'm not going to tell the 80-year-old grandma that she can't have that big piece of pie. What I'm going to tell her is, ma'am, can you like cut it in half and then have a little bit in the morning and a little bit at night? That way it spreads it out a little bit. I'm going to give people options because I know, like you said, 90% of the people are not going to do what they're supposed to do. So I'll say, you know what? You like Pepsi? Okay, put a little bit of Pepsi in your cup and then have a little bit of water. So every Pepsi sip, you got to sip 2 times with the water. So what you going to do? And it's like just trying to include a little bit of healthy things into their unhealthy lifestyle.
Yeah, because I will say this without getting anybody in trouble. I don't know how many people fully understand that when they're dealing with this, when they get these cancers diagnosis, how many of them do not understand a lot of it is diet related? Like, I don't, the premise to me was the fact that I was here because of my diet. It took me a while to get that. Like, that's why I was able to be the second time. But I would say the average, and I hate to say African-American, but just people in general, they do not know the benefits of what their diet and where it's leading them to. And as simplistic as it is, they don't understand that diet is a huge percentage of it. And that's a whole nother conversation. And that is breaking 40-year habits, eating habits and just your normal way of living. And number one, it takes more money to do that. You have to completely change your lifestyle and you got to be disciplined in it. And that's a whole nother conversation when you get an unexpected cancer diagnosis and you got a short amount of time. So it's just a lot. But I do think that's why people like Charmaine is really important because she has an approach on giving you the information. She has a funny, loving sister vibe or whatever. But I think a lot of doctors don't understand how helpful that is. Sometimes it's not what you present, it's how you present it to them. It's almost like a garbage can getting steak theory, almost like, you can give somebody a good steak anyway, but if you put it on a great presentation, a plate or whatever, it looks different. But the average person has no idea that their diet is leading them. And we got to remember, this ain't talked about in no regular news forums, the coalition. When I learned the hard way was because when I had the stem cell transplant, I had to go meet a dietitian and they broke it down. Had I not went in the room with the dietitian, I would have never known. They broke it down to me. And how many people go research a dietitian to tell them that? So I'm just saying, like, it's so much stuff that we don't get, and people deal with he or she as if they should already know that. And they're not understanding the discipline, the money, and how different it is to live a different lifestyle when it comes to diet. And that's a big component of all this stuff.
Well, and then, like you said, then the right dietitian, right? And there are so many snares, and it's not just, it's everywhere, right? It's like talking to the right person financially, talking to the right person for your health, talking to the right person for your job. It's a trip. Like, and I think with all this information, in some ways, I think it's good and it's bad, right? In some ways, there's so much information now that you can get that it's helpful. But at the same time, there's so much bad information out there that you almost, you end up not knowing where to go. It's so funny, Boots. We did this, Charmaine, we had this show, we had a flat earth guy on the show. And ever since then, Bootsy, there's been comments about the show. And it's funny because, you know, a flat earth position is really just somebody who's thinking differently based on their own beliefs, right? And what it really tapped into, so I've been going back and forth to this one guy who says truth is truth. And it's funny because that's not really true. Like, right? Truth is truth. It's like everything, you can say truth is truth, but knowing what we know is it's where you get your truth from, right? And then what your belief system resonates with. And they'll say, well, just because your belief system resonates with it doesn't make it true. Well, at the end of the day, it kind of does in your life. You know what I mean? So in other words, right? It's everybody, because what's true to you, what you think is true may not be true to me. And that goes against the statement, this truth is truth, but it is a very interesting place I think we are in everything, because as we know, from flat earth to health, there are things that we've been told our whole life about diet that are not true, right? There are things we've been told about God or whatever your belief system that aren't true. But if I believe it, it's true to me.
Right. But also, I think a great point that I don't think everybody put in mind is what we're marketed on diet-wise on a daily basis. I can remember thinking 2 eggs, pancakes, and some bacon was a healthy, like, you know, and a glass of milk, because milk does your body good. Let's never forget that. Like, just think about, for generations, we have been marketed a diet a certain way, and nobody never told us the health benefits or what it would do to us. So we're trying to break generational diet curses, generational marketing, and nobody to really stand. So it goes back to your saying about where you're getting your truth from, how do you learn it, how you disseminate it. But the fact that you're trying to break something that has been promoted and marketed us for generations. Case in point, and I'm gonna get back. So not only with you, Mark, I can say I've helped about maybe 30 people with their diet. I've helped some people, not to get nobody, you cover your head. I've helped people beat cancer, Mark. Honestly, like, I've helped people. But you'd be surprised how many people did not listen to me about diet and did not think it was as simplistic as it was. And a few did not make it. And like, it was basic stuff. Like, I've been telling people the effects of alkalinity in your blood. Like, as simple as it is, you've never seen it. That has never been marketed and promoted to you. And that's what a lot of the things that when you get a unexpected diagnosis, like for me, I came in, they say, hey, you got late stage 4 cancer. It's April. We don't expect you to make it past July and August, but you might get a chance. So number one, you can't work. You know what I mean? You got to get all your affairs in order. Now, if I'm a single mother or single father and I'm the sole provider, like, I'm just thinking about all the things that if I did not have the support system that I had, I would have been really in trouble. What really saved me, and this is the honest to God truth, is I got good friends, and I happen to have a few millionaire friends who financially came to me and said, no, take this. But I'm not normal. I'm not average. You know what I mean? And think about the average everyday person who's just working think about, and I know, because we've talked about it before, how many single mothers, when they are diagnosed with cancer and they're the sole provider, it ain't the cancer, it's the pressure and the stress of dealing with everything around it with no support system and not knowing what can help you in your normal day-to-day. So these are all the things that the average person don't realize, but why people like Charmaine is really valuable, you know what I mean, on her gift of conveying it to you. But and I know you know this as well, it's not always the diagnosis, it's your response to the diagnosis. It's not all, absolutely. I had people in my situation. I went to Washer Cancer Center. There were people that had lymphoma cancer stage 2 and did not make it. I had late stage 4 with a tumor right here in my throat. I had to get this. I had to have throat surgery, all that. But it was mentally, but I understood the diet and I could afford it. There's no programs for you to get food. Sometimes you can barely get medicine because I had to pay because I did not have copay. I had to pay for a lot of it. And when you're doing that and paying bills and being a parent, that's a lot. You know what I mean? So these are the things that are never discussed when we're talking about these diagnoses, these cancer situations. And once again, do you have a support system and friends? Yeah. But also, as fragile as this thing, do you got a nurse like her versus a Caucasian lady who told me, literally, man, I got other shit to do. You ain't my only patient. Like, you got to think about that. You know what I mean? Like, literally. Like, so you just think about how fragile life is and how we should value the information and the people around us. But this is just what life is. And somehow I'm on here talking with you. Right?
Yes. And let me just say, I tell people it's not only diet, right? So it's what you put in your body, what you take in your mind, and what you put on your skin. So all of that matters.
Okay, what does that mean? What you put on your skin without you getting in trouble?
Meaning aluminum-free deodorants. Meaning, you know,
the hair stuff
that has all these parabens and chemicals and different things like that. It clogs your pores. It doesn't allow your natural oils to, you know, come through. So a lot of times, you know, there may be a mechanism in your body to release all of these different things, because cancer does not come from just one thing. It's kind of like a cascade of events that happens in your life. So if you're exposed to this, then this happens, then you don't you use this product, then you eat this food, then you smoke this cigarette. It's just so much. And then those cells finally say, okay, wait a minute, I'm not normal anymore. Let me just go be friends with everyone else. So I tell people, you know, we have to look at health from a head to toe type thing. You know, we have to look at our shampoo. We have to look at our eye drops. We have to look at everything that you're putting in your body, everything that you're putting in your mind. You know, what are you watching on TV? What are you reading? If you're not reading and you're not stimulating those brain cells, you're doing yourself a disservice. So it's just like health is a, you know, it's a total body thing. So you can't exclude anything out of that. You have to do your green smoothies however you want to do it. Maybe not a green one, maybe a pink one today. I don't care. But something to get your fruits and vegetables, something, you know, that does not clog your pores, nothing harsh like when you're washing. Those things matter. And I don't think.
So what are the top 3 things that clog your pores up? And let me say, because I know, man, you talk about this. This is why I'm the guru. Without you getting in trouble, what are the top? Because I know 2 things, and I'm gonna
I say your 2 things because
so
he's a little bit more well versed on these things.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, because she don't really know that much. Deodorant, non-aluminum deodorant is one thing. I'm not going to say this is
no. It. So let me correct you because it doesn't clog your pores. What it does is your pores are absorbing.
You're not supposed
everything.
to know so much, but go ahead.
I know. Just
go ahead.
Your pores are absorbing all of these chemicals. So, you know, you're always sweating under your underarms. So, you know, those things are just sucking right into your skin. So if you think of it that way, it's like you're just putting aluminum under your skin and it just increases your risk for cancer. It doesn't say you're definitely going to get it, but if you're doing all of these little things that are slowly increasing your risk, it's like that roller coaster and you're right at the top. And if you're not changing your diet, if you're not drinking water, you will be surprised how many people do not drink any water. And I mean, not any water. Like they will say, oh, it's water and juice. Oh, I cook my vegetables in water. No, you have to drink it. So we're not flushing those toxins out of our system. And that's the biggest problem.
Second thing, and without going, what about, and I've heard this premise, I don't know if it's true or not. Another reason why African American women may have a higher breast cancer thing is because of what is it when you get your hair relaxed, the relaxers that you put in your hair.
Lye.
The lye in, you know what I mean, the chemicals that are in African American hair products to make your hair straight is that true? Am I reaching?
I'll have to research that because I'm really not sure.
Okay, pause. Yes, it is. And I don't want to get her in trouble. But that has the 2 things of the deodorant and the African American products have a lot to do with it, which some people say is the reason why African American women in these later years have becoming at higher risk to have breast cancer.
Well, and I mean, the acetate in these, so the acetate,
Oh,
the
that's
glue,
sweetener.
and all this stuff, and the weaves themselves, it's plastic. A lot of it is, back to you said, the cheapest, the reason you get a bundle for cheap, you got to imagine the products that are the cheapest products you could probably ever get, and you don't know what's in them, and then even if you're paying top dollar for natural hair, all those things that are attached to that, who knows, the things that color it, the things that are used to make it
keep it sellable for you when you get there.
I remember a friend of mine, she's a big natural hair person, has been forever, and she's always talk about when people die, when you open up their scalp, you just see that layer of lye and all those chemicals are just sitting right there on top of the scalp, on top of the skull. For sisters who've been, processing their hair, and men all this year, with guys, all the dyes that we use now, I remember one time I looked at the store and I was looking at the Just for Men or whatever, and it said one of the side effects was swollen hands. So, okay, so in your mind, you're just thinking it's some dye that you just going, but swollen hands, I put it down like bloop, because and then also a friend of mine, when we had this website, anyway, you don't need that background, into the henna, the henna that they used to, people do henna, and henna actually is not black, it's usually like a little kind of reddish kind of dye. But she had a client, because my friend used to put, one of her jobs was to help people put their stuff on Amazon, the product on Amazon. And one of the products that her client, who was out of India, had was a hair dye for Black women. And the hair dye contained a carcinogen. And the same carcinogen that, if you see the black henna, was in that, right? And so she told the lady, hey, because you know how Amazon works, once this gets out, once people start doing that, noticing what's in your product, it's going to be a problem. So you need to either take the product off or take this product out off of Amazon, because it's coming. And the thing that was heartbreaking was another sister who worked in the hair care industry, and she basically does the in stores, when you have aisles and those aisle space, and people always talk about how expensive to have space and stuff like that. She does that, and she's a cancer survivor. And so my friend was talking to her about it, and like, girl, this product is a cancer causing product, and so I'm about to, if she doesn't do it, I'm going to drop her as a client. The other lady was like, no, I'm not, So here's somebody who's a cancer survivor and is told that one of her products contains cancer causing agents. And she was like not going to drop it and was not even considering it. And that tells you kind of what we're up against on all levels, from, like you say, in foods, hair products, ingredients, like you said, aluminum, fluoride in toothpaste.
Right, fluoride. And let's keep in mind, who is it marketed to? Because there are other ethnic groups that do not use hair care products as much as African Americans do. Like, to go back to what's marketed and what. These are all the things that we deal with. Whenever we have these conversations, stuff like this happen to our stuff.
And Bootsy, you said you ain't trying to get in no trouble. So with that,
okay,
let's wrap it up. The government is now on us. No, thanks, Bootsy. Look, Charmaine, you are a joy. I look forward to the our new segment every week with you. I look forward to that. Mr. Vegas, absolutely. The weekend is upon us.
Oh, I have an event this Saturday.
Okay.
Gateway Post Pavilion, Essence Festival. Raheem Devon and the Crank Crusaders will be in the building.
What?
And I will be speaking along with Raheem about voter registration and also community youth programs this Saturday at Gateway Pavilion. So I will be getting a 2-for-1 deal. There'll be sold out seats to hear Bootsy Vegas speak. And then I get the crate with the crate Raheem Devon and the Crate Crusaders. Come holler at your boy Southside. I'm gonna be in the building. You know what I mean?
You can't get Raheem on tomorrow to talk about it, can you?
Sure, but I have an event in the morning tomorrow, so but we can come back Monday and talk about it.
Okay, awesome. So Bootsy, you're not going to be with us tomorrow?
No, but I'll be with you in spirit. I have to have an event. I got to get checked up because the Black Essence Festival, and I'm single, so I got to look good. I got to have this drip. You know what I mean?
Well, Bootsy, we love you.
Get at 'em,
And
ladies.
Charmaine, we love you. And tomorrow we might be on vacation. If Bootsy's not here, you know, ain't no show without Bootsy Vegas. All right, well, we'll
I
find
didn't want
out.
to say it, but you know.
So tomorrow is tomorrow. It looks like it's going to be a best of tomorrow. But Mr. Vegas, Charmaine, have a great one. And we will see everybody when we see you. Be safe out there. Let's see. We'll wrap it up with, I'm not going to do that one again, Bootsy. That always gets you upset. I'm not doing that one again.
Nothing gets me upset. Happy birthday, Charmaine. Happy birthday,
Mark.
All right, happy birthday.
Yo, what up? It's Kevin Lyles.
Wrap up this one.
Yo, what up? It's Kevin Lyles. Preakness Live, 147, 300U. We are here. We're making it special. We got 5 different episodes live from Baltimore, live from the Preakness. Let's get it.